Hey, how are you doing? Welcome to tonight's class. My name is DJ Sabanjo of Profit from Coaching. First of all, I want to apologize. Those of you who attend our weekly webinars know that this does not look like my office. Basically, what's going on is we're painting the house at the moment, and I actually completely forgot. And about an hour before, the painter actually was in my office, painting my office. So I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And I just had to laptop, come downstairs here and just some sort of makeshift studio for tonight's session. I do apologize that we came in about 5 minutes late what was going on. Basically what it was we'd done all the testing, we checked everything was fine, and then we just went off to go and relax a little bit. We come back on at about 5 minutes to 9 o'clock, and guess what? My special guest, who I'm going to be introducing in a brief moment, couldn't hear me. Now, when we're probably going to be struggling early in session if one of the speakers can't hear the other person. Thankfully, that problem is sorted, and so we are going to be having an absolutely wonderful tonight. Okay, folks, do me a favor. Just want to make sure that I'm not talking to myself and that you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. So, how are you doing? Just to let me know that you can see clearly and you can hear clearly. And once we know that, then we're going to get into things tonight. We're going to be having an absolute blast. So it's good evening, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. I'm really excited tonight. We are going to be having a really wonderful time. We're going to be talking about a topic I really enjoy, and my guest is someone who's been doing a lot of work in this area, and it really is going to be a big difference maker for you. It doesn't matter what stage of business you are in as a coach, speaker, consultant, anyone who's looking to build and position themselves as an expert of some sort on just starting out, or whether you've been in the game for a while and you're just looking for some leverage, and especially if you're looking for ways that you can grow your business without spending a lot of money. I really want to grow my business, but I don't have a lot of money to play around with right now. You're going to be enjoying what we share here tonight. It's really going to be a big maker for you. All right, great stuff. So just let us know if you can hear and see me. Just type in the little chat box, and then once I get a few messages from some of you, then we're going to be rocking and rolling. Okay, awesome. So as usual, I want to recommend you find a nice quiet spot, get away from anything that could, this is where you want to close Facebook. All right, now, just before you close it, thanks for that too, to really appreciate you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you. Close Facebook. Make sure you click on the social shares, Twitter and Facebook, and just share this event right now. Let your friends know you're here tonight. Having how you can leverage the power of Facebook groups to take your coaching, speaking, and training business to the next level. So just go ahead and do the social shares, and let's get into Facebook. Get away from the children, get away from the pets, get away from anything that could be a distraction, and go to a nice quiet spot. Switch off the television right now. All right, I know not. Switch it off right now. You can't be here tonight and be watching TV at the same time, okay? You might just miss some really amazing and powerful things, but make sure you get a pen and a note so you can take some good notes. And I do promise you that we're going to be sharing some gems with you tonight that you can take and implement pretty much straight away. Right. And what we're going to be looking at tonight is ways that you can leverage Facebook without spending any money, and to begin to start amazing and phenomenal results in your coaching, speaking, and training consulting business. So we're going to have an absolute blast. Okay, so I've got feedback from you can hear me and see me. So we're going to get into things. Hi, Doyen. Hi, Aga. Hi, Monique. Hi, Angela. Hi, Deborah Kirk. Dory, everybody else, how y'all doing? Good to have you on. We're going to be having a great time. Thanks for showing up tonight, and I promise you it's going to be well worth your while. Okay, so my guest for tonight is someone who I only just got to meet about 10 days ago. For those of you who are members of the Profit from Coaching Facebook group, seeing me put out a message about 2 weeks ago, asking, for anybody who's been getting on certain social media platforms. Now, the thing is, I've been looking to bring in people who are real experts, not gurus who are so far away from you can't connect with them, but what I call real people who are out there leveraging the power of social media, not just to get likes and clicks, actually grow their businesses. Last week, we had a great time where we looked at leveraging the power of YouTube. And for everyone who was back was phenomenal as we learned how you could, use YouTube to begin to position your business, to begin to leads and convert the leads to buyers and all that wonderful stuff. And that was what we looked at last week. Now, this week, we're looking at not just Facebook, we're looking at Facebook groups. Okay, we're looking at Facebook groups. Now, when we're looking at Facebook groups, there's two ways you can use Facebook groups to build your business. One is by creating your own Facebook group. And that's fun, it's amazing and very productive, but it's also a lot of hard work. I promise you that. It is a lot of hard work. Most of you know that I run the Profit from Coaching Facebook group. We have over 3,000 members. I love it. And we're able to really work with a lot of amazing coaches in that group and supporting one another, learning from one another, and helping people grow their businesses. But it's a lot of hard work. Another way is actually just by engaging in the groups that you belong to. Unfortunately, most people who do this do it wrong. And I know that because some of them are in my group. Okay. And I see some of the things they do in other groups, right? But if you actually do it right, it's a gold mine. And so I'm really excited for the guest that I have here tonight. Her name is Simona Trendafilova. She's Bulgarian, and I think she's in Bulgaria at the moment. And I was privileged to be connected to Simona through a member of our community, Jane Wilmot, and Jane connected with Simona. And as we got together and as we began to talk, I just realized, I said to myself, you know what, Simona, I need you in to come and share with members of our community how to do this thing the right way. I'm really excited, ladies and gentlemen, and I really want to encourage you to really pay a lot of attention tonight as we go through this process, because it really will be a big difference maker for you. I know, and personally, I have had amazing success. I mean, leveraging the power of Facebook groups, doing it the right way. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my guest and co-presenter tonight, Simona. Hi, Simona. How are you doing? Yeah, this is where you need to unmute yourself.
Hi, Deji. I'm doing really good. And first of all, I want to thank you for having me here. It's a real pleasure.
Great stuff. Yes, so just go. First of all, we go into Facebook. Just share your story with us.
So, my story of how I got into Facebook groups was, well, actually in the beginning of my coaching business, I wanted to coach people on how to grow their business, how to use online and digital marketing. But the thing is, one thing I was really missing was the interaction with the people. So I actually, in the beginning, I was certified email marketing strategist. And I really love email marketing and all about it. I really loved Facebook, but what I was really missing was, communication back from the people that I'm serving. And I always had the feeling that I would put some content out there, but I would never hear the response from my peeps, from my tribe, my community. And the first time when I actually got into Facebook groups, it was exactly through Jane. And I really liked it. I liked how supportive people were. And obviously with time, I understood it's a gold mine because I actually got 100% of my clients from there. When I first started, I also didn't have money to invest in Facebook ads or in any kind of, paid ads at all, to be honest. So Facebook groups were a great place to start. And yeah, they're just a great starting point. I just love the connection with people in there.
I must say that I do. Okay. I need to do something. There's a bit of an echo. What do we need to do?
I don't know.
I have headphones, but they're not here because they're in my office, and that's all messed up. If you just mute yourself while I talk, and then you can unmute yourself when I'm done. Great stuff. And so, like I was saying, I really do agree with you. For me, especially before I started my group, some really great success. This is the story. A friend of mine added me to a particular group. The group is a group that's run by another friend of mine called, and for about a month, I didn't do anything. I just didn't, I was like, why did she add me to this group? I was like, what's that all about? But later on, I just went in and I checked the group, and there's a lot of conversations going on here. This looks really interesting. And what I then did was, I just introduced myself. I said, hey, my name is DJ, and I really like this group. I like the energy here. I like the vibe here. I'm looking forward to really engaging with everybody. And then people responded. And actually, I must admit that I did something wrong. I could card on Facebook group sin, which I'll be confessing, and I'll be telling you what I did in a brief moment. But when I did that, Mark reached out to me and says, hey, DJ, you're not meant to have done that. And he told me why. And then I realized, okay, I said, I'm sorry. So he said something, let's just go to the group and apologize. So I did. I went into the group and I said, you know what? I goofed. I was the one who did that. And it was amazing how that's fine. At least you're admitting. And that was it. And that was how I just started to engage in the group and had some really amazing success. And we're going to be talking about all that in a brief moment, how, what you've done. And I'll share some of the things that I've done that hopefully our listeners here tonight can implement, and they can get some similar results. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, as we work through this, if you do have any questions, please feel free to type your questions in the chat box, and I will make sure that we get your questions answered. Okay, so the first question I want to ask you, Simona, is this: why do you personally recommend a coach or consultant, or utilize Facebook groups? Why is it a good idea? Why do you recommend it?
So maybe the number one idea is that when you're a coach, for example, or a consultant, your business very much depends on building your know, like, and trust factor. And I think the best way to do it is by, not only attracting people to your business, but nurturing them. So sometimes, like, to give you an example how I chose to work with my coach and how some of my clients have chosen to work with me, I came into Jane's group and I have been observing her for maybe more than half a year, close to a year. And she really built this connection with me through groups, because if it would be, and through email marketing or YouTube, it's more of a one-way communication, where in groups, you get your potential clients get to really, really engage with you. They get to ask you questions. They get like a test drive of what it would be to work with you. And that's why it's so important, especially if you utilize all the features of a Facebook group, like giving them free files in there, giving them, like you're doing, weekly trainings and videos, and you're really going to explode your know, like, and trust factor.
I do agree. So for a person, so what you're saying is, for a person who's joined the group, the opportunities you get. Okay, I need to switch off my. I know what I'll do. You don't worry. I'll just switch off my speakers for a brief moment while I talk. Oh, I don't. I can't actually. Okay, don't worry. I know what to do. Brilliant. Good. So basically, why would I recommend Facebook groups to people? It's really simple. It's exactly what you said. There is the people who you want to connect with are in these groups. And if you do it the right way, you can quickly build amazing relationships. You can create amazing connections, which really would help you to begin to generate clients. So, and that brings me to the next question, which is, okay, all right, so yes, it's a good idea to engage in Facebook. People who you want to connect with, the people who are potential clients are in these groups. Fair enough. But, there's a lot of groups on Facebook, and especially these days, everybody and their dog is creating a group. So how do you find the right groups to join? Which would you define as the right groups to join?
So the right group obviously will depend a lot on your business. Like, for example, if you're a local business, you're going to search for more localized groups. But basically, the right group is the group where your ideal client or your target market is. So the first thing that I would like advise people that are just now looking for the right groups to join is, in the beginning you may join a lot of groups because, as you said, there's so many groups out there. But one thing I would look for is the vibe in the group. Like, do you see people actively engaging in the group, commenting on each other's things and supporting each other? Or is it only the leader constantly promoting their own stuff and you see that there's no real connection in there? Then the other thing, if you see that the group is really engaged, there's a lot of people in there, but you still need to think if this is the group with your ideal clients. And after being active in a certain group for a week or two, seeing what kind of response you're getting, seeing what kind of content others are posting out there, you're going to just notice if these are your ideal clients or not. To give you an example, because I believe that giving examples is the best thing, but one of my clients, Carol, she's a copywriter and a coach, and she was like thinking, okay, I'm in this group, it's for new coaches, and she was thinking, I want to work with coaches, so this is the perfect group for me. But when she asked a couple of questions, I just nurtured her, I want you to ask a couple of questions just to see, are those your people? And what we discovered is that, yeah, these new coaches, they're really interested in what she has to offer, but they're not ready to make an investment. So one way that you can also like dig down to see if this is your group is just like engage with people, ask a couple of questions, don't make like a survey, but just ask a couple of questions to see what kind of people are in there.
Okay.
Also, you can see, if you are posting your lead magnet or content that is valuable to your ideal client, people that are your ideal client, they're basically going to reach out to you, they're going to send you messages, they're going to comment, they're going to look for this connection with you. And if you see that you're not getting there, unless you're doing something totally wrong, probably just your peeps are not in there.
Okay. All right, I'm just going to mute myself again. Great. So, key things said there is engagement. When you join a group, you want to see that there's engagement in the group, that people are talking to one another. It's not a quiet group, basically. There's conversations going on in the group. The second thing is you want to make sure your ideal client is in that group, right? So it's not just any group, it's groups that there's engagement, and that the people who are likely to want to be helped by you are in that group. You also want to make sure you want to check the rules of the group and make sure the rules would be conducive for you to make connections. If there's a group where they say, well, you can't post anything, you're not allowed to post, and well, that's going to be really tough for you. I mean, there's ways you can get around that, but you check what the rules are. I think that's one thing I would suggest you do, just to make sure it's ideal for you. All right, great. Now, there's another question I'm going to ask, but I'm going to leave that for later. But the big question now is this. Now that I've joined the group, what do I do? How do I now, what are the steps I need to take to be able to generate clients? What are the things I need to do?
So think about it maybe as just a networking event, or just think about it as a community that you're just coming in. So the first thing that you're going to do when you meet new people is to just simply introduce yourself. And introducing yourself can be done very, very wrong. I see so many people making this mistake. They just join a group and then they post 1,000 links to all their social media platforms, and they forget to just share their personality, which can be so much stronger. So what I always suggest to people is when you join a group, just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, share something personal about you, because people in groups participate, yeah, they have this business motive, but they also want to connect with the person that you are. So try to just share something personal and be authentic. And obviously, always, before you post anything in a group, check the rules, as you mentioned before. It's very important because you might not be allowed to share links, you might not be allowed to promote yourself, and just be cautious about that. So once you've introduced yourself, the next step is, so don't just introduce yourself and run away. It's very, very likely that if the group is highly engaged, that people are just going to respond back to you. Maybe even your ideal client might be there and reaching out to you. It's very important to connect back with them. So don't post and run. Make sure to stay and engage with people. And the next couple of weeks, what I suggest to my clients is focus on building your know, like, and trust factor. So I would usually recommend you don't start promoting yourself at least the first 2 weeks. You want to serve before you sell. So you want to make sure to bring valuable information to your ideal clients. So this is not a popularity contest. You're not trying to be liked by everyone. You want to make sure that your message gets across to your ideal clients. So just, think about free, valuable information you can share with them. And one thing that I see a lot of people struggling with is that they don't know how much information they should give out for free. They think that if they share too much information for free, then the person wouldn't want to work with them. And the case is exactly the opposite. In Facebook groups, there's so much noise, there's so many people posting, and the only way for you to stand out as an expert is by sharing your best content sometimes with them, and they're going to notice you and reach out to you. So don't be afraid to share too much for free. So to put it down into a step, you introduce yourself, then you spend the next 1-2 weeks building your know, like, and trust factor. And you can do this through different kind of posts. Some can be tips very related to your expertise, for example. Some need to be personal, you need to be sharing your personality, because let's not forget that people buy based on their emotions. I mean, you can be the expert and you can share all this information that they can also find on the internet, but people are going to really relate to you because of the person that you are. And that's also something that's gonna, make you stand out for the competition and from all those other people out there. And once you've built this relationship with people in this particular group, you can start by offering either your lead magnet. I know you, Deji, you're talking a lot about lead magnets lately. Your lead magnet, you can offer a coaching call. Just don't start by, if you have a 90-day program, which costs a couple of thousands of dollars or pounds, don't go off and offering that one. It's a huge step for people to take. You need to take it slowly until you get there. So in the beginning, I would say, especially if you're new to groups, just start by offering a freebie or invite people to a webinar. Just look into how can you deepen the relationship. You can invite them on free calls. You can invite them on discovery calls. But the one mistake I see people quite often doing is they think they're going to post out their 3-month program and people are just going to buy, and it doesn't work out that way. The most thing you should be focusing on is building relationships. And another thing I think is really important to do in groups is to reach out in private to people. And what I mean by that is, let's say that you've been engaging with someone's posts, you've been commenting on each other's stuff, and you see that you might really resonate with this person. This person can be a potential client, but they might also be a potential partner for you. It doesn't necessarily need to be always a client. And it's okay to reach out to them and get to know them and start building a relationship. Just don't start, pitching them right away. Don't send them a friend request and then send them 1,000 links again.
Great stuff. I mean, there's a few things that we've covered, and I'm just going to just highlight them, and then ask really that was really great. George has asked a couple of questions. George, we're gonna get your questions answered. Now, so you said you want to introduce yourself, and you said, the key thing is don't make the introduction a promotion. And I think that's a really crucial thing that you've highlighted there. And I see a lot of people come and their introduction is pretty much a brag, and because I own a group, and I see that when people come in, their introduction is a brag. And when I see that, it's a big put off. It's a big put off because okay. You know what? I think you might need to mute yourself if you could. Are you muted? Yes, you're muted. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so so the introduction is really just, hey, my name is DJ, and I'm really excited to be part of this group. I've looked at what's in here, and I'm really, it's so much fun. I live in Kent in the UK, and I do this and this and this, and I'm really looking to engage and to learn a lot more from what's going on and to contribute as well. Thank you very much to whoever it is that added you to the group for inviting you. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty much, hey, thanks for having me here. I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I'm looking forward to being a part of this. And that's really it. So you don't need to pitch a product. You don't need to talk. You know why? Because people don't care about your product. I think that's the bottom line. So they don't care about your product. So, okay, a new person's come in and you say hello, and people usually, you do a nice, proper introduction, you will see that people would respond and they would welcome you. When you do a pitch, you'd realize your post would sit there. It would not get much attention. No clicks, no likes. I mean, no, the links won't get clicked. You're not going to get likes. You won't get comments either. But if you do a proper hello, and introduce yourself, you will see that a lot of people would say things like, hey, welcome to this group. You're going to have lots of fun and all that sort of things. So hello, and you will get a proper welcome. I think that's what I will definitely say there. So that's really crucial. And then the key thing is to check the rules of the group. The key thing is to check the rules of the group. Now, different groups have different rules, okay? And when you go to a person's house, right, you've got to respect the rules in the house. And that's one crucial thing about groups is I talked about what I did with the group that I joined. And yeah, I did something I shouldn't have done. Really, that's it. I didn't check the rules, and I just did it. And thankfully, the creator of the group reached out to me straight away. I think that was the thing. I apologized straight away, and he told me to go and apologize to the group for what I'd done. And I did. And I said, you know what? I goofed. I'm sorry. I messed up. They really were very forgiving. And from there, I really began to connect in the group. And I will recommend that you, and that's why in my group, I benefit of the doubt. Some people, as soon as they're added to the group, they break the rules, and then we politely point them to the rules if they persist, and then we just because I remembered when I messed up, and so I give other people the benefit. I'm sure Simona, you can understand where I'm coming from there. So we give so as long as you play by the rules. Now, except if you're not allowed to engage or post. Whatever the rules, if your ideal client's in the group, you can build your business in the group, right? That much I will tell you. George said, how can I practice these in my country? Well, because it's online, it doesn't really matter, George. We're talking about Facebook groups here. So just join any groups where your potential clients are. And the principles work across board where you are. We're talking about people here. So it doesn't really matter. I hope that answers your question, George. And Dwayne, thanks for that. I can trust. And it basically is, you want a situation where people grow to know you because they're exposed to you. They get to like you because of the vibes and the useful information and knowledge and support, and they trust you because over time they can see some consistency. So it's a term that's used in sales and in marketing, know, like, trust, and that's what Simona was talking about there. Awesome. Now, things about sharing stuff, but I guess again it all depends on the rules within the group. For example, I know in the Profit from Coaching group we have, and even I'm reluctant, we have one day where you're allowed to promote, which is Promotional Saturday. And we're going to talk about the right ways to promote in group. The right ways to promote in groups, and we'll talk about that as in a brief moment. But just before we do that, but engaging in groups. And I really, because some people might be here, Simona, saying, you know, all right, engaging in groups is really cool, but I really want to understand what it means in groups. And I think we should just discuss this. I know when you and I spoke, we talked about this a little bit to really help our listeners here understand how to engage, how to get noticed without coming across as some, but actually in a likable way. How can you engage and get noticed in a way where people actually, rather than, people seeing you as some sort of show off? Yeah, so back to you.
So one thing I tell my clients is
that I'm gonna mute my mic.
Yeah, thank you. So one thing that I tell people is that, a lot of people, when they enter a certain group, they feel like they need to post, and they forget the engaging. And what I mean by engaging is like really get into conversation with people. So for me personally, commenting on someone else is serving someone. When you post something, you come from a place of showing off, being there, kind of like you said, like bragging around. And when you're commenting, you're coming from a pure place of serving people. So for me, engaging is commenting, and I mean like real thoughtful comments. I don't mean like, thanks for sharing this, or I like that, or something like that. But like, first of all, really take the time to think of the comment you're going to write. And even more, especially when people are asking for help, feedback, support, just give it to them, just as you would in a conversation one-to-one with them. So for example, if someone is especially asking for support or help with something that is related to your coaching area, just imagine that you're talking with them and just start coaching them basically through the comments. And obviously you can take that further into a private conversation if that's allowed in that current group. But I think active engaging in Facebook groups is like active coaching. Like you just want to be helping and serving people in the best way that you know. Deji, I don't hear you again. I'm not hearing you. Yeah.
I just realized my microphone was muted.
Yeah.
Okay, right, great. So I do apologize, folks. You didn't hear. I was going on and on and on, and no one heard anything. Anyway, so I was saying that Simona just handed to us the keys to the vault. That's what she just did there. And what I said was, there are some people who join Facebook groups, and they never contribute to any conversations. If people ask questions, they never come to provide support. If the admin of the group asks for contributions to something, they never do that. Yet every day at the same time, they post something in the group. They post some inspiring, or they post something from their blog or whatever it is, wisdom and all that, consistently in these groups. Now, will that help them get some visibility? Some, yes, it would. That's the truth. But really, it's like scratching the surface. It really is like you're scratching the surface. If you may be easy to start my own group right now, right? But I really, really want to Okay, someone says there's echo. Is there echo, Simona? Are you getting a lot of echo?
No, not at all.
Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, so okay, someone says they can't hear anymore, but we'll see how it goes. We'll just continue. Okay, thanks for that. Great. So where was I? So instead of doing that, right? This is elected because maybe that would help. Now I was in this particular group. I didn't think of starting a group. I didn't think I had time to start a group at the time. And so what it was a veg group. Anytime people were asking questions around the topic that I had knowledge and expertise in, I would go and I would just go into the group and I would respond. And it got to a point when people would then start to tag me. When people asked a question and people in the group knew that that was people began to know the areas of my knowledge and expertise, then people would start to tag me when people ask those questions. And so I get tagged and I would just go there and I would respond to the question. I mean, sometimes, I wouldn't know the answer to the question. I'll just go to Google, search for the answer to the question, and then just share the answer there. And and you know what, for me, I started getting friendship requests. I started getting people sending me private messages. I didn't reach out to people. I actually didn't, right? I actually had people reaching out to me who were then asking, who were, hey, can you help with this? Can you help? And it was happening every day. It was happening every day. I think there was just the one time that I actually posted original content in that group, which was my personal. I spoke to the guy and I said, I've got this useful thing. Can I share it in the group? And he said, yeah, go ahead and share it. And that was the only time. And I'm not saying you can't share stuff. I think it's a good idea to share stuff in the group, right? But actually, the real gold mine, it's not in sharing as in posting in groups, but actually engaging. Why? Because if there is a conversation that is trending, there's a lot of people engaged in that conversation, and you come and contribute, and then people can see that your contribution is stellar, right? That will stand out a lot better than your solo post, which might get 2 or 3 or 4 likes, right? That is what I would personally engaging, choosing to engage. Don't now this is a recommendation I would make, right? Don't posture in another person's. I remember saying this one time when I was running a Blab session, and I said, because someone asked about Facebook groups, and this is it. Careful, there's this thing called ego, which is self. Okay, everybody has their ego. Now, when a person starts, and this is one of these things we don't talk about because we pretend like people don't have ego. So, you've got to be very careful. One, connect with the people who are the owners and admin of the groups. Connect with people. They're human like you. And you know what? They want engagement in their group. They want that to happen, but connect with them personally. If you can, connect with them and add them as friend. Okay. And then when you're commenting in the group, regularly refer to them, appreciate them for the support they provide in the group. These are the little things that make a big difference. Why? So that when you are doing your posturing post every now and again acknowledging them, they validate it, which makes a big difference. These are little tricks that make a big difference that I'm sharing with you here, because Facebook groups are really so powerful, right? But don't come to a Facebook group saying, I want to position myself as the experts in this group. Position yourself as a person who really helps people in that group. That's the key. I'll say that again. Don't to a group looking to position yourself as the expert. Position yourself as a person who really knows their stuff, who is very, very helpful. You do that and you will see, you will get the twist. You're not trying to chase people. People are chasing you, and it will happen consistently and persistently. All right, great. How much time are you spending in a day on Facebook? So Simona, that's your namesake, but I will ask you first. How much time are you spending in a day on Facebook?
So I have to say, when I was starting out, I was spending a lot more time. But right now, I have a daily checklist and I spend around an hour and a half in Facebook groups. And most of the time, I actually spend in my own Facebook group.
So you spend an hour and a half.
Yeah, and I also like spread it out so I would have scheduled time for posting, scheduled time for engaging, and I would have half of it in the morning, then midday, and then in the evening.
Unmute myself. Okay, good. Yeah, so how much time do I spend on Facebook? I probably spend it in total in a day. Again, about an hour and a half. I do my post, and then I have times at the top of the hour I would go in and I'll engage, and I tend to spend about 5 minutes every hour, literally just working through that way. That's pretty much how I do it. But I build my business full time, so I'm able to 3 hour. I just go in while I'm awake. That is not every hour, as much as often as I can. Right? If I'm working with clients, sometimes I'm able to do that, but I try to about enough is the time I spend on Facebook. Now, Dwayne asked some tips on growing your own Facebook group, your own group. You know what we'll do is we'll probably have another webinar where we cover that. We'll have another webinar where we'll talk about growing your own Facebook groups for you. So, which is growing and running your own Facebook group. So look out for that. We would cover that. Okay. So what do you do when you feel you don't do, I'm assuming what you're saying, you don't contribute much in a group. Well, if you feel you don't contribute much in a group, then, well, Simone, I'll get you to answer that question. What do you do if you feel you don't contribute much in a group? You answer the question, and then I could share my opinion. So I'll let you go first.
So if you feel that you're not contributing enough, it's very possible that you really don't contribute enough. And if you are not, contributing and serving, then, if you're investing, like if you're serving like 10% of what you could be serving, you're going to get exactly 10% back. So I really believe that what you put in the group is to serving. That's exactly what you're going to get back in return. So I'm basically then saying that your results are going to be kind of according to the serving that you're putting in and contributing.
I agree. If you feel you're not contributing enough in the group, be that one, you're in the wrong group, right? If you're in the wrong group, if you don't have the opportunities to contribute because there's no conversations going on, there's nothing, as long as people are posting things, right, you can contribute. You can add your own tuppence to what someone says. So someone says something, someone shares something, you can say, that's really good to that. I like the fact that you said this and this and this. But I think that another way of looking at this is, and then you pivot to another perspective, and you can share. And basically, first of all, you validate what's being shared, except if you totally disagree with it, which you can do sometimes. You can be contrarian. You can be. So you validate what's been said, and then you then contribute to that to help support that. Or if you disagree with it, say, well, that's a very interesting perspective, but I actually see it from a different, I see things in a different way. And then you present your own perspective. So acknowledge and validate, have a perspective. And this is another thing. This is slightly different because now we're looking at language, conversational language. You can challenge your position in a respectful way, right? And these are things that probably these are skills you need to develop, which is, how can I say something that's contrarian? I can be contrary without being rude and disrespectful, and the other person would not feel slighted. They would say, okay, that's a different perspective, and then you say, well, and then you can get a debate going, and I call it where no one's being rude, no one's being disrespectful. And again, when people read the debate, see, when debates happen, that gets a lot of attention, and people start seeing your perspective. They start understanding how you think, and people who align with the way you think will add you as a friend. They would connect with you. All of that engagement helps you to create connections. Okay. Now, having things like, lining up your processes for engaging with, that follows from that. We're not going to go into detail around that here. There's lots of previous webinars where we've talked about, how to, funnel people for it, where you get them up. So we won't go through that here, but these are the ways you can start getting people who reach out to you. They go and check out your profile. From your profile, they see your link. That's how it happens. I was just getting a lot of people join my list, and when I would check, they were from the group, right? It's just amazing, awesome stuff. I used to promote on the promotional day, and the truth is, the people who engage in the group the most are the ones who actually get more eyeball promotional content in groups that allow promotions on promotional days. So the key thing is engage. All right, George asked the questions, if you do not have enough knowledge. Well, George, that's a very valid question, and I will I'll share my perspective and let small. Now, the reality is this, right? If you are a level 5, as far as your knowledge and expertise is, and you join a group that's, then you're there as a student. Okay, do you get where I'm coming from? If you're a level 5 and you're joining a group that's 7s, that's at the level at level 7, you're there to learn. And that's fine. Learn from the group and grow yourself to a level 7. But if you're a level 5 and you're looking for clients, you should be going to groups that serve level 3s. Do you get where I'm coming from? Where the knowledge and expertise that you have them move from 3 to 5. But and then this is another thing, right? So while you're in groups that serve level 3s, you're also in groups that serve level 7s. And this is how development happens. Groups, you're the expert. In some other groups, you're the student, you're the protege. Do you get where I'm coming from? So that's how you do it. You would join certain groups to network with peers. You would join certain groups where you're looking to be the expert and serve with your knowledge and expertise and attract clients. And you would join certain groups because you want to be able to develop yourself to the next level. And that's how you do it. I hope that answers your question, George. Your thoughts, if you wanted to add to that.
Can you just repeat his question? I think your microphone is muted again.
Sorry. I apologize. Yes, so his question, you might need to mute yourself now.
Yeah, but I was going to say...
The lesson is... Okay,
yeah. Yeah, if you feel that you don't have knowledge, I totally agree with Deji. And for example, to give you an example, in some groups that I'm part of, I'm as a student, for example, me as a Facebook group expert. In some groups, I'm there just to learn. So my behavior is going to be very different. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to ask for support. And in other groups, like in my group, I would just be sharing that and contributing to people the knowledge that I already have. And if at any point someone asks me something that they assume that I know, I'm confident enough that I cannot know everything there is about Facebook. So I would just say, hey, I need to check that. I need to get back to you. This will show people that you care. This will show people that, you're not just like, that you care for them and that you're going to check it out for them and spend time on them. So it's okay to not have the knowledge sometimes. And just be honest about it.
Thanks for that. George, I hope that has answered your question there, and I hope you can take that and you can run with it, and it can help you to take things to the next level. Now, it goes without saying that you've got to have your system set up, your processes, so when people connect with you, what is the next step? How do you travel? How do you move them along? So things like your lead magnets, your process, and all that. So that should be in place, because when you engage in connecting groups, you will get people coming to you if you do it right. You will get, I can guarantee that. As long as you do it the right way, you do it from a heart that cares, right? and then from a head that knows. So your knowledge and expertise here, and then this. And when you give both, you will attract people who resonate with your style and your personality. They would reach out to you, right? It's fun, it's hard work, and the good thing is, those of us who are members of the Profit from Coaching community, we do what we do because we care about people. And so it really aligns with your personality. It aligns with you and who you are. Is it hard work? Well, you know what? Not really. Honestly, it isn't. What about people anyways, right? You're the sort of person, when someone calls you and they have a problem, how do I do this? You would get on the phone and you would explain to them anyways, and you paid because you care about helping people. All we're saying is just take that and then start helping other people, right? Start helping other people. So that's what, and as you do that and be sensible about it. So go to a group, help people with your expertise. Don't go to a group to try to make people think smart. As you help them, they would recognize you're smart and they would lean towards you. All right. So Tutor says, a Facebook group. How do I attract people to my group? Should I invite friends to start? How do I make my group known? So many groups, because there's so many groups already in existence. This is my advice. I've never given this advice before, but I'm going to give it now, actually. Before I don't know why, because I never thought about it. I am going to give this advice now. Before you start your group, learn how to engage in groups. So in essence, before you go and start your own group, there's no point starting a group if you don't know how to if you don't know how to engage, because not only do you need to engage, now you need to create engagement. That's harder, right? So learn how to engage in groups. Join 2 or 3 groups, engage within those groups. If you start to see that young people are connecting with you and all that, then you know you're beginning to get the hang of engagement thing. Then go and start your own group. Yes, you can. The questions you ask, how do I attract people? We are going to run a webinar very, very soon. I would say this month, actually, where we will cover starting and running your own Facebook groups, and I will make sure that happens, and we'll go into detail around that. But what I would say here, and I'm saying this now, and I'm probably the first time I'm giving this advice, because it's never crossed my mind, but it's good advice, right? Is even if it's just a couple of months, for a couple of months, right? Go into certain Facebook groups and really make sure you have mastered engagement. Once you've mastered engagement, then if you're ready, because it's going to take more time, energy, and effort, start your own group. Okay, but don't just start a group if you don't know how to create engagement. You just have something going to happen in the group because you don't understand engagement. That's it. You don't understand it. So I would recommend you do this first and then go and start a group. So do you mean start by learning from a group before you get your own group? Good. George asked the question, and yes, because I just said it. But Simone, I mean, you might have a different perspective. I'll just bring you in to share your own thoughts.
So definitely, I agree with you, Deji, and especially in the beginning, having your own group is going to take you a lot more time. So before you get those first 100 or even 500 people in, you will be the main person that is going to create content. So before that, make sure you have system, that you know that you're already efficient and effective in creating content and engaging with people. Because I see a lot of people who start their own group, they invite friends and people who are not in their target market. And after they hit their first 100 or 200 people, they realize that they don't have strategy behind building their group. So you need to be really clear on how to use Facebook groups before you build it, and make sure when you're launching your Facebook group to have enough time, because it will need more nurturing on your side in the beginning.
Awesome. Now, I can say to you right now that part-time, very part-time, very, very part-time, if you do this right, if you join a group and become a part of that community and focus on just serving and supporting and helping and relating and, being a part of the group, like welcoming new people, celebrating the birthdays, just doing all that, celebrating other people's successes and sharing your knowledge and expertise, supporting other people within Facebook groups, you can And you can build a full-time income just by doing that in 2 or 3 groups. That's a big, especially if you have properly, which is your processes. And you know, even though we've covered that before, sometime probably during the summer, I will cover it again, how, you know, putting the right processes in place, and then and to ensure you're generating, you know, how to quickly hit 5 figures a month. So we'll cover that again. I will cover that again. As long as you've got all that in place, right? Just by engaging in groups, you know, 3 really nice groups that you realize they're fun groups, and you can and then just do that. And yes, you can create a full-time income in those groups. Now, yes, if you do create your own group and you build it and you work it, that is really taking things to the next level. Yes, that is true. But even before you do that, you can have a lot of fun, and you can earn a full-time income just by doing that. Yep. Okay. Any final questions, ladies and gentlemen? We've been here for just under an hour, and it's been. I mean, let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask your questions, and I'm going to make sure we can get them answered. If you know, just let us know if you know anything that stood out for you, anything that's really stood out. That actually, what is the one key thing you're taking away from tonight's session? And just go ahead and share that here. Okay, so if you have questions, type in your takeaways, type in your big takeaways. Thanks everyone who's shown up, everyone who stayed till the end. And I'm hoping that you got amazing value out of this tonight. Go back and you can start to engage in groups and start to really contribute and start to really benefit from the business that comes your way. Okay, so go ahead and ask your questions or share your big takeaways, and just to let us know. We'll be finishing in a few moments. While we wait, Simona, if you had any final thoughts, I mean, any advice that you'd love to give the people who are on here tonight, I'll mute myself and you can go ahead.
I just wanted to encourage you, like Deji just invited you to engage with us. And I think this is your very first opportunity after tonight's webinar to start engaging. And especially I want to share this with people who are afraid or don't feel secure to engage in Facebook groups. Just like take tonight's webinar as your first opportunity and share with us what was the one aha moment or your biggest getaway from here.
Awesome. So Dwayne says, I will start by engaging the Profit from Coaching group at least once a day. Hooray! Great. I'm looking for your posts and seeing your comments and your contributions. Awesome. Tutor session is going to be engaging more. That's one of my takeaways. And Simona says, my greatest takeaway is engagement. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for all that. It's been phenomenal. Yes. So let's just a little bit of practice. So please do me a favor, go to the Profit from Coaching Facebook group, right? And if you're not yet a member of the group, just go ahead and request to be a member. I would straight away. But those of you who are members, just go ahead and just go and brag on about Simona and how much value you got out of tonight's session with her. And just go and do groups so everybody else can know that you had an absolutely amazing time. Okay, so why don't you just some good skills practice? Just go ahead and do it straight away. I'd love to go to the group later on and read your posts in the group. Awesome. So thanks a million, Simona, for coming along tonight and for sharing of your knowledge with us. And I'm sure that everybody who's here tonight has got great value. I did promise you, right, that tonight is really, really special, folks. Why is it special? You can implement this straight away. You can implement this straight away. And like I said, the key thing is head and heart. As long as you're using head and heart, don't be too intellectual with this. It's about you're good at what you do. You know your stuff. That's fine. Care. Right? And let the caring heart lead you, and then it would lead your brilliance. And when your heart leads your brilliance, it attracts people to you, because people are looking for people who lead with heart, but also who have the head to help them move forward. That's what people are looking for right now. People ask me, what is my biggest secret? That's it. That is my biggest secret. I know my stuff, but I care. And people see that. And because they see that, they connect. There's nothing special about me. That's it. You know, just know your stuff, care about people, and how do you prove you care? By giving, right? That's it. And when you do that, people are attracted to you. Encourage us to just go out there and, you know, don't intellectualize this. Just go out there and give, pour of yourself, serve yourself to others, contribute, recognize, celebrate other people's successes, and that sort of thing. And you will attract people to you, and it would help you take your business to the next level. So again, thank you so very much. I really appreciate you for coming along tonight. I'm looking forward to us doing a lot of wonderful things going forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. I really, really enjoyed tonight.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being a part of tonight's session. Go ahead and leave your comments in the Facebook group, and I look forward to being with us next week. And you know what? This is it. Next week, what we're going to be covering is launching and growing your own Facebook groups. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to be bringing my friend, but I haven't spoken to him yet, Victor Bassi. And then the two of us will just we'll share with you the things that we're doing and you know, to create how we're running our Facebook groups. He does things slightly different to how I do them, and I'll just bring him on, and we're just going to be sharing these with you next Thursday. But I can't promise yet because I haven't asked him. Right, this is just because I can see a couple of you asked for it, and I want to give it to you next week. Look out for that. Okay. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for staying to the end. Let's keep making a difference in people's lives, and let's keep getting paid. And good night.